Hi everyone, this is Rachel Caruso, MK Ultra survivor and ongoing target. Today I am going to show you the evidence of the stalking by one of the Illuminati bailiffs who conducted the illegal eviction on July 12th, 2021. So I have a whole series of my last landlord, who was actually an MK Ultra handler. She also works as a programmer. She works as a therapist. Her name is Sally Willow. My account, just so you know, on YouTube has been seriously attacked with over a dozen videos. All the videos exposing Sally Willow have been removed. Right now, they're in the process of attacking the last 3 live streams from July 12th, 2021 with the eviction. YouTube even deleted a video I made telling you all that they're deleting my videos on false grounds. So this video isn't dedicated to exposing this senseless censorship. Instead, it's dedicated to exposing Kieran Thorne, one of the bailiffs who you saw was part of the performance, part of the psy-op of the illegal eviction in Dartington, UK. You saw that because I streamed it live. You saw his face, he said his name. He knew he was on YouTube live stream. Obviously, they knew I was recording because I was walking around with the camera. But they magically knew that I was live streaming because in that live stream, even if YouTube removes it, it's been uploaded to BitChute. So don't worry, all of this to this day is still on BitChute. And you see at the end of that live stream how it ends. It ends because the bailiffs disconnect the internet. It's the first thing they do when they shut the door on my face. So not Sally Willow, you didn't see her. You didn't see her around, just a whole lot of her neighbors and a team of bailiffs. This is not how evictions go down if they're legitimate. This was in fact human trafficking. This was a fake, illegal eviction from the whole start of the process when Sally Willow tried to force me out of my home, all the way to the very end. There was nothing legal about it because this was human trafficking. This was organized abuse. So Sally is nowhere to be found for the 3 hours that I live streamed while I was harassed by her neighbors and by the team of bailiffs. And Sally didn't turn off her own internet. No, the bailiffs actually handled her router. The first thing they do, because the Wi-Fi router was in the hallway right next to the front door. When I step over the threshold of the front door and they shut that door on me, they lock it simultaneously, press the off button to the Wi-Fi router that's 1 foot away from the door. So they're tampering with property that doesn't belong to them and that has nothing to do with an actual eviction, which is the removal of a tenant from the property. There were, it's a big mind game. There were probably plenty of programs, plenty of backdoor arrangements that I wasn't privy to, but clearly they had instructions to let me record and to disconnect the internet as soon as I was out of the physical vicinity. Again, this wasn't an eviction because they let me stay on the property. Once they ended my live feed, I sat in the garage for 20 to 30 minutes. They said nothing to me. They wouldn't even look my way, even whenever I spoke to them and asked them questions like, why are you going into all of my neighbors' homes? Do you normally do that when you're a victim of somebody who disclosed they're a victim of human trafficking? wouldn't even acknowledge me. I have footage of that's gonna dedicate a separate video to that, but I'm just giving you the context of how that live stream ended, what was happening right before and right after the live stream ended due to them deliberately disconnecting my feed to end my live stream. You'll also see in that video, at no point did they ever ask for my keys. That's also something basic to an eviction. So they didn't actually remove me from the property. They didn't try to prevent me from re-entering. They didn't ask for my keys. There was just this whole 3-hour performance that they put on for the camera. A bad performance. You'll see all the ways of corruption within those 3 hours. That's all it was. It was a performance for the camera and a mind game for me. Who knows what would have happened if I said I'm not leaving? They said they were going to call the cops. Who knows if they would have? Who knows what the cops would have done if they came? I just wasn't in the mood to find out, to experiment with that. They may very well have been bluffing. You saw in previous videos, Sally Willow bluffed, tried to make me believe that I was magically evicted and locked out through no legal means. I called her bluff, came to my apartment when she had claimed that I was evicted and locked out. She had actually tried to convince me that I'd abandoned my flat. Called her bluff, came back to my flat, no problems, continued to live there for months. So it really proves to you that this is all games, and it has a lot to do with what you consent to, what you're willing to go along with. But, you know, big picture, I know that there was somewhere else I needed to be that wasn't in that flat so that I could pursue higher matters. So you got to remember, the universe is in charge. The universe is working in your favor. So I wasn't willing to play games with the police, wasn't willing to call their bluff and experiment with what would happen. So I was coerced out onto the street by the bailiffs, or at least into the garage. And now, for further proof that there was nothing legal or legitimate about that eviction and that it was Illuminati human trafficking, I'm going to show you the proof of one of the bailiffs stalking me after that eviction. Since that eviction, it's ongoing. So everyone, let's say hi to the stalker, Kieran Thorne, who's watching right now. You guys, before we go any further, I'm just going to confirm the date and time with you for evidence sake. It is 5:45 p.m. on Monday, July 26, 2021. And now we're going to jump right over to the evidence. So what you're looking at here is an email. I get email notifications or emails of every YouTube notification. How handy is that? So let's zoom in here. You can see the subject of the notification. Kieran Thorne has subscribed to me on YouTube, to my No Witness channel. Let me show you. This is No Witness. Hopefully you can see my No Witness logo. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, on July 15th, 3 days after the eviction, Kieran subscribes to this whistleblowing channel. And you heard Kieran Thorne confirm his identity twice knowingly on that YouTube live stream. I mean, he knew that he was on the live stream. So if you were going to try to stretch your imagination to rationalize this in any way, I'm going to help to prove that that's ridiculous. Let's think of this. 1, how would he know about this whistleblowing channel? I mean, yeah, obviously they proved to us they knew, all the bailiffs knew that they were on a live stream. How did they know about that in the first place, though? I didn't tell them. They just knew the camera was running. Also, in that live stream, I show you, I explained later that the Illuminati had changed my life to unlisted so that only those with the link could watch. So it was public. I started it as public, and then they changed it to unlisted. And in that live stream, I actually show you with the camera that there was a viewer the entire time. There was like 10 seconds that the viewer disappeared, went from 1 to 0 viewers, and then they were back. A deep state agent was somehow had the link, was in my account, watching an unlisted live stream. The bailiffs knew they were on a live stream. Kieran Thorne knows about this channel. And point number 2, why we can't even stretch our imaginations to try to rationalize this as not being stalking, organized abuse, human trafficking. Why would he subscribe? Anybody can stalk you, they can monitor you on YouTube without subscribing with a channel that has their full name that you made a point to get them to confirm twice. The only reason he subscribed to me was to let me know he's watching me and monitoring me. This was a strategic action to intimidate and threaten me. This was a menacing action. Again, more proof that this wasn't a legitimate or legal eviction, that this was organized abuse. And guess what? I had done this live stream on July 17th, 2021, when I was being illegally evicted by another landlord, a woman named Ms. Hemming in Exeter, who had rented to me through Airbnb, and she didn't have the listing accurate. There were many things wrong and inaccurate with her listing, and therefore that grants me grounds for cancellation and a refund through Airbnb. And so when I went through that route, she lost it. It was 9:30 at night when she acknowledged all of this. She comes home drunk and then busts in my room uninvited. She's belligerent and tries to force me out onto the street, claiming that she's going to call the police if I don't go at 9:30 at night with no notice. And so that's all caught on this live stream. But what I want to show you is what happened in the comments here. So I was having a conversation with this viewer, and so they were talking about, you know, how somebody actually reversed an illegal eviction. A tenant did that. And I said, that's how it should be. It's great that legal justice does exist for some tenant out in the world. As my last live from the 12th with the eviction shows the organized trafficking involving court bailiffs, we know that the legal justice does not exist in my world of MK Ultra trafficking. And then, so I hadn't been logged into my channel since really the eviction. So now that I had been logged in for this new live stream, I went and I checked my email, and that's when I got the notification that Kieran had subscribed to me. So that same night, this was a conversation, the same night, July 17th, is when I said this. Not to mention, I just saw that one of the bailiffs had subscribed to my channel as a way of letting me know he is watching me. Everyone saw the bailiffs themselves confirm their identities. Here's the one in question, Kieran Thorne. And you see the link here with his name. Now, what happened as a result of this comment on this new live stream is Kieran goes and alters his account. So I'm going to show you what his old account looked like Stupid little boy. Stupid little boy. Of course I took the evidence on the spot. So in response to this comment of me exposing him, he alters his accounts. I have evidence of what his account looked like before. So not only does it not work, Kieran, to try to alter your accounts, but by altering your account, you prove you're further stalking and monitoring of me. You prove that you came onto this live stream, went through all the comments in detail, and found the one that outed you, and that's why you changed your account. So folks, I'm going to show you what his account looks like now. So let me click on the link there. Oh, now it's Groovy Campbell. Look at this. Kieran Thorne. And I know this is blurry, but it says Plymouth Argyle Football Club. So he's a part of the Plymouth Argyle Football Club. Look, the URL is the same, still Kieran. I'm going to show you that it's this same URL with the original channel. I'm going to show you what it originally looked like. So this is your undeniable proof, same channel, it just got altered. Now he has a picture of a dog. So he needed to make a point to hide the fact that he's part of that football club. Who knows what Groovy Campbell is supposed to mean when Illuminati live by symbolism and codes, and especially when it comes to traffickers when they're cyber stalking you. Their account names are usually coded. It has some kind of double meaning, whether the victim is aware of it or not. It might be a trigger code, an MK Ultra trigger code. It might be one of your alter's names and therefore, in a way, a trigger code. Or it can be an underhanded message to the victim. So something that would be relevant to only the victim and nobody else would know. So now I'm going to show you the video I made of that same night. You'll see that I look the exact same backgrounds and everything. As soon as I got done with this and I found Kieran stalking me, I made a video outing him and I made a video of the details of his account. And you're going to see that it's nothing like this. He scrubbed it. This is the only thing he left on there. Don't worry, Kieran. Go ahead, try to scrub that. I already got the details on that too. And you can see this is an old account, 2010. This boy he's barely 20. He's young 20s at most. So I have to make a correction here because after I filmed this, I found out that Kieran Thorne is actually 27 years old. He was born May 1994. I was certain he was much younger because of the way he looked, but also the way he carried himself, the way he behaved. He behaved and carried himself like a child. You saw much of this in the live stream while he was illegally evicting me. He was so insecure in himself. I'm going to show you some clips of that in this video, but it's just funny that he is so much older than the way he behaves and carries himself. And circling back to his YouTube channel here, when he created it, he would have been 15 when he created it. So he started his account when he was a child. So this wasn't a new account created just for the purpose of stalking me. This was an account that actually belongs to Kieran Thorne. Next up, you're going to see the video I made on July 17th, 2021, the very night I discovered his stalking. So this was after I ended my live stream exposing Misma Hemming in Exeter. and saw the notification that he was stalking me. So look at what his channel used to be like until I outed him in my video comments that night. Then he immediately changed his account. Hey everyone, so it's just a few minutes since my live stream ended on Saturday, July 17th, 2021. As I mentioned in that live stream, I hadn't logged on to this YouTube account in the past couple days as I've been working for survival things. And so after that live stream ended, I visited my notifications from YouTube, from my No Witness channel, and boy, do I have something to show you. And what do you see there? 2 days ago, Kieran Thorne subscribed to me. Do you know who Kieran Thorne is? He was one of the corrupt bailiffs that conducted human trafficking under the guise of illegal eviction on Monday, July 12th, 2021. You saw his identity verified in my live stream on that day. That one of the bailiffs there, by the name of Kieran Thorne. He was the one who I referred to as Little Twerk. He was so insecure in himself, he couldn't face me. I also pointed out the fact that his eyes just darted around like mad, doing anything, going anywhere except me when I was stood right in front of him, confronting him. Look at this, Kieran Thorne. Now ask yourself, why is the bailiff subscribing to my channel where I expose his crimes? Why? How does the bailiff know about this channel? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself that. Of course, because he's Illuminati. Of course, because he was in the know about everything to begin with. One of the reasons why he would actually subscribe to my channel is to let me know that he is cyber stalking me, to gaslight me as he stood there, just being completely complicit to the eviction, being a passive participant, but a participant nonetheless. And he wasn't so passive compared to the ringleader, Adam Doyle. But he broke into my home. He helped to conduct this human trafficking via the psy-op of an illegal eviction. How many times did I verify his name on camera? You saw his ID, Kieran Thorne. So he's subscribing to let me know, to intimidate me, simply to intimidate me, to play mind games, to mess with my head. Because it's not just cyber stalking. If he wanted to stalk me and monitor me online, he could easily do that without subscribing to my channel. The point of the subscription is to send a notification to me. So let's just take a look at his channel here. I'll link his channel in the description box below. You can visit it yourself. As what happens often whenever I expose people is they go and they alter their accounts, they alter their profiles, they alter their information. So I'll show you the contents as of today before he gets exposed. But you can visit, you can click on the link that I'll put in the description box. It's interesting that he has the customized URL on YouTube. Now, YouTube doesn't allow that. You have to go through and set that up after you've reached 100 subscribers. So either through his Illuminati connection, he got his custom URL, or he at one point had more than 3 subscribers. He had 100 or more, and he changed it, meaning that he was regularly uploading content. But that doesn't look to be the realistic scenario, because he has 2 mindless videos from 11 years ago. And generally people don't actually unsubscribe from your channel, even if you had content that elicited more than 100 subscribers and then you deleted that, the subscribers would still be there. So it wasn't that he once had 100 subscribers or more. Through his Illuminati connection, he's been granted this custom URL. And so you can, yeah, I mean, look at these videos. Man boobs to fat kid dancing to Prodigy. So this is a young child of about maybe 11 years old. I don't know if I would get some bogus copyright claim if I played you these videos. So I'm going to let you watch them. And just by looking at the thumbnails and what he's entitled the videos, it tells you a lot. So it's this boy dancing without his shirt. Like he actually takes his shirt off on camera. And Kieran Thorne, an adult man, is mocking him. Why is it there? Why is it there? Let's see what he subscribed to. Here's all his channels. Here are the supposed interests of this Illuminati member. So it looks like a lot of zombie bullshit. But also, I just want to bring our attention to how many views these videos have. Over 1,000 views for a minute of some 11-year-old dancing shirtless. Like, what's like these mindless, pointless, short videos? Why do they have hundreds and thousands of views? And so we're just going through his whole account here. 11 years ago, Pata Zugler said, "What the hell, Kieran?" So this is when Kieran was a kid. He formed this account January 24th, 2010. Here's Pata Zugler. So a bunch of mindless stuff. I'll put his accounts in the description box below. We don't know if he's still in contact or associated with Kieran Thorne, since Kieran Thorne became a willing perpetrator of human trafficking. This guy has a lot more subscriptions. I'm still not seeing, nothing jumps out at me as having any substance or meaning. Again, just zombie bullshit. I might be missing something, but at first glance, he has a lot of these subscriptions to zombie bullshit. Here are the discussions on his channel. You have Connor Harris, Tony Giangreco, again, 11, 12 years ago. But these sound like real names. These are real people in the community. Luke Borlaise. Then you have someone challenging him on apparently his religious views and his activity on somebody else's channel. What does it matter? He can talk about what he wants, how he wants, and when he wants. Plus, God does exist. So apparently this kid, Kieran Thorne's friend, was denouncing God. This is interesting, red pill, because this is usually a term used with awakening, but this was over a decade ago. And it looks like something more technical, nothing about actual awakening. So we're just getting to know Kieran Thorne and his circle, his community. Who is he still connected to today, as he's now in the Illuminati? And somebody also confronted him, "Stop leaving pathetic comments on my page." Okay, Dan. So apparently, yep, Dan is his name. You're losing your dignity. And we don't know how old Dan is. He might not have been so young 12 years ago. Excuse me, I don't even know you, and you leave an inappropriate comment on my profile. So pointing to predatory behavior. And there's a lot of other shit here. I'll let you go through yourself. He loves Vicky Blows. Right. And his channel was formed in 2008. So one of Kieran Thorne's friends. Now also, let's look at this logo, this emblem Kieran Thorne has. So can you read this? It's as big as I can get it. Plymouth Argyle Football Club. So that's one community that he belongs to. We know that he's a footballer. We know that he's at one point been based in Plymouth. We know that he belongs to a club for football. All right. Yeah, we've got one of the bailiffs. Not just cyber stalking me, but cyber harassing me, intimidating me. That's what the subscribe was about. To let me know that he's watching me. And also as like a, mind games. It's like a fuck you. You know we're Illuminati. We know we're Illuminati. Nothing will ever change, though. We'll never be held accountable to our actions. Yeah, I trafficked you under the psy-op, under the guise of an illegal eviction. And now, after that trafficking, I'm going to monitor your channel, and I'm going to let you know I'm monitoring you. And nothing's going to happen to me. I'm untouchable because I'm Illuminati. It's a message to make me feel small and powerless and victimized, to make him feel big. But we saw that little twerp on camera. He doesn't feel big. He's so insecure, so insecure. He's pathetic. He's absolutely pathetic. So you know what? Here's a message to you, Kieran. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. You ain't got shit, baby. But I got your number now. And that's all for today, everybody. So stay tuned as this saga of the strings of illegal evictions and human trafficking by my landlords continues to unfold. Now rewatch the bailiff Kieran Thorne confirm his identity during that illegal eviction. So at about 21 minutes and 30 seconds in to the video called Live Illegal Eviction, the live stream on July 12th, 2021 at 2 p.m. Even if YouTube scrubs this, it's still up on my BitChute channel. At that minute mark, you're going to hear Kieran Thorne confirm his name for the first time. Let me play it for you. It's coming up right after Adam Doyle confirms his name.
So you will need to vacate the property now, okay?
We're also from the county court, Miss Crusoe.
What's your name?
My name's Mr. Doyle. I spoke with you on the phone
Adam
earlier.
Doyle.
Yeah, I spoke with you on the phone earlier, didn't we?
What's your name?
Kieran Thorne.
Sorry?
Kieran Thorne.
Kieran Thorne. Do you have identification?
I do.
Aren't you supposed to have numbers that also identify you as bailiffs?
No, that's not a system.
No. Why are you covering it?
Which cross well.
So, look.
I can see you've got your stuff.
He does it again. He does it again. So Adam is trying to deflect here. I ask Kieran for his identification. He shows me only the front side very quickly. The front side is just a photo of his face. And then he quickly covers it up. He crosses his arms. Now, he's both covering it to hide it, and it may be that he's also crossing his arms because he's insecure in himself. This is clearly a very insecure boy. I'm not going to call him a man because he's not acting like an adult at all. You'll see close-up of his face in a minute. So there's potentially two reasons why he's crossing his arms and covering himself. One, definitely to cover the ID, whether he did that subconsciously or deliberately. But we're leaning towards deliberate because I called him out on it. Why are you covering it? And he does it again. So that time it was certainly deliberate. Let's watch it again. What's your name?
Kieran Thorne.
Sorry?
Kieran Thorne.
Kieran Thorne. Do you have identification?
I do.
Aren't you supposed to have numbers that also identify you as bailiffs?
No, that's not a system.
No. Why are you covering it?
Which I
I can see you've got your stuff ready to go. Are they all packed?
What's your name?
Claire Libby.
Claire Libby.
My ID.
And so the only ID. So you see, obviously I was about to verify everybody's identity and legitimacy, so-called legitimacy of them being in my home. So it's clear to everyone that I'm going through that with all three of these people. But Adam interjects to try to deflect me, to try to gain control over me in the situation. And because I had started out already pointing out their flaws and insecurities. All your ID is a photo. Why are you covering it? And then he tries to prevent me from getting the woman's name. The only ID you have is a picture. There's nothing to actually identify. There's nothing to actually identify your
warrant card. You're
status.
more than welcome to see my warrant card if you like.
Yes.
That's my warrant card there, HMCTS warrant card. That validates the warrant that we have with us.
And still no. And of course, he flashes it. He flashes it. That's not actually making sure somebody can see your identification card when they ask for it. No identifying number. Just a picture. Okay.
Just a picture, yeah.
Right. Lie, big fat lie they're about to expose. I'll show you in a second.
That's the official government documentation. You're possibly thinking of private bailiffs, which are on a private bailiff register.
No, I'm not. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks for telling me what I'm thinking. I'm not.
Okay, that's the unidentified.
Yeah, then he tries to gaslight me. It's just a photo.
Identification the county court bailiffs carry. So like I say, you will.
What's in your pocket there?
That's the warrant there.
Are you going to show it to me? Okay, so there's more that we could examine here, but we're keeping the focus to Kieran Thorne today. And now you'll hear Kieran confirm his name a second time at 2:49:24 during the live stream. What's your name?
Kieran.
Kieran. Do you have a last name?
Thorne.
Dawn?
Thorne.
D-A-L. How do you spell that? Oh, Thorne. Yeah. So whenever I asked that you're Kieran Thorne, so when I asked if your ID was just a photo, you said yes, but you just gave me the backside of it with your name. Isn't that amazing? Nobody is social distancing. This is what his eyes were doing. To give you the picture, since the camera didn't capture it, you only got glimpses. I mean, he was doing, because I was holding the webcam. Webcams, it's about this big. It's plugged into my computer, it's detachable, right? And I'm holding it, I'm facing it towards him. And he's doing everything he can to avoid me and the camera, because the camera is right in front of me. So he can't look in my eyes, he can't look in my direction because the camera is there. And this is what his eyes were doing. I mean, he looked like a crazy person. So there you have it, the evidence of stalking by one of those bailiffs. And of course, you know, it's not going to be just one. You watch that live stream. He's not his own boss. He's at the bottom of the ladder. So of course, it's not just him from this whole eviction psy-op who is stalking me. And it probably wasn't even his idea to stalk me. He was probably following orders. He was probably hired to do that by his handlers, his deep state bosses. So the Illuminati arranged this stalking as a mind game to let me know that they're watching me and monitoring me. And then I'm supposed to draw these conclusions about what it means that this particular twerp is monitoring me. All we need to know is that it was organized. This is part of human trafficking. And we had this similar issue before with Sally Willow and her cult accomplices, Jan Olivia Hewitt, who had created a GoFundMe for Sally. And in the first video where I outed Sally, I was telling you the story, I wasn't providing evidence yet. In the description box of that, I included the link to her GoFundMe page. A GoFundMe page for Sally Willow to receive money that was put up by her friend, Jan Olivia Hewitt, in Totnes the day after, or just hours after I put that up in the description box. The GoFundMe page was completely altered. And as soon as I pointed that out to my viewers, suddenly it was gone. But just like this time, I had already captured the evidence of that GoFundMe page before it got altered and then scrubbed. And then I was able to show you that as evidence of Sally Willow and her cult cyber stalking me. That is the content of part 1 of the evidence series against Sally Willow. You'll find that on my BitChute channel, bitchute.com/nowitness. Dozen or more videos have been removed by YouTube. That was on YouTube, it's gone now, for no legitimate reason. YouTube's not even pretending that they have reasons to delete my videos now. They're just taking them down. So this is a theme that I have the evidence of these people in this local cult. Of course, like I said, they're not their own bosses. It's not just local, but it is operating locally in Totnes, in Dartington, in Devon. It follows me wherever I am. But yes, it's in the little idyllic hippie town of Totnes. And we have a theme of them showing me that they're cyber stalking me. Because also, guess what? Jan Olivia Hewitt liked my No Witness Facebook page for the same reason. The same woman who altered, then deleted the Sally Willow's GoFundMe page and got her own little feature in the first video that provided evidence to the organized abuse by Sally Willow. She liked my Facebook page months later. It was actually just a couple weeks ago. I made a Facebook post on that, you guys. So I am posting more evidence on Facebook. So guys, make sure that you've liked and followed my Facebook page for even further evidence, the link to which is in the description box below. So we got 3 people here proving to me, wanting me to have the proof that they're cyber stalking me. They're not the only 3 though. You should know that. I'm not going to give the others attention until I'm ready to expose them with the evidence. But today was mostly about Kieran Thorne, so congratulations, Kieran Thorne. You look like a fucking dipshit. In stalking a victim of human trafficking, conducting that trafficking, participating in it, it doesn't do anything for your image, which we all know narcissists such as yourself are so very concerned with. You're going to sit in shame. You stood in that hallway drenched in shame. All 3 of you did, but you, Kieran, and Claire Libby couldn't hide it. Adam might have more training or experience to hide it, but he had flaws. He had cracks there too. But you can't even hide it. Your shame is so visible to us. What the fuck are you doing with your life? You have to ask yourself that, Kieran. What the fuck are you doing with your life? You're young. You have decades more of this shit to go. If you choose it, if you choose to stay in it. Can you think back to a time where you didn't denigrate yourself? Where you actually still connected to your innocence, to your humanity, to your empathy? Go back to that time. But it's going to be hard work to turn your life around. At this point, it's going to be so much harder the further along this path you go. Just ask Claire Libby, or just look at her, that haggard woman, so miserable in herself. Just ask Sally Willow, the woman who you were illegally evicting me for. The woman literally shakes and runs from me. You were practically shaking, those darty eyes. The shame you're feeling right now is appropriate. That's telling you that you have gone so far off course. That shame is telling you that you're living without any morals. You're actually violating your own morals and your own values, your own integrity. We're living without morals, value, and integrity now. But you're feeling shame for it, and it's because you're living like that. It's because that's not in alignment with what your natural self is. The natural self that you've abandoned for whatever these ego ideas you have of a successful life, whatever it is that the Illuminati have promised you. Kieran Thorne, this is my promise to you. Not only will you continue to be miserable in yourself, we live in a world currently that enables narcissism. That won't be true when you're middle-aged and when you get older. You are going to continue to get more miserable as you age if you don't correct your character and your lifestyle. And in your middle age and beyond, the world is going to look very different. Not so many people are going to be tolerating you and people like you. Not so many people are going to be enabling your corruption, your corrupt morals, your corrupt actions. There will be many more narcissist slayers like myself that you will be personally confronted with. Those 15 seconds that you couldn't even stand to look my direction, imagine that on steroids all the time for decades. You're going to be confronted with people who are cutting you down for your narcissism. They're going to be exposing your darkness to the light. They're going to be holding you accountable to your behavior. And you will be afraid. In a few decades' time, maybe you'll be more experienced in pretending like you're not. But I know that most narcissists retain that fear. You're one of those kinds of people. You'll still be afraid. You'll be like Sally Willow, literally shaking in my presence and running away. You better be prepared to live that miserable life of fear and insecurity and shame, or you can prepare right now to turn it all around. The choice is yours, but you're going to have to live with the consequences one way or the other. And to the rest of my viewers, that's all I'm going to include in this video. So thank you for being a witness to MK Ultra human trafficking, for learning, educating yourselves about this system of organized abuse, for educating yourself about how this is actually conducted in broad daylight, in plain sight for everyone to see. It's always cloaked by some kind of facade, some kind of guise. Thank you for watching as I pull back the veil so that you can see what's actually going on. And so just as I've given a little bit of an update in my last live stream where I outed Misma Hemming in Exeter, and I can't give you guys too much more of an update because I'm not going to broadcast my next steps, but I do need your help and support right now. So I've been scrambling to find accommodation, which I am very limited to because the UK government, the Home Office, has systematically, through conspiring with Sally Willow, has actually confiscated all of my identity, all of my ID. They have unlawfully, very, very cleverly, in a concealed kind of way, made it so that all of my ID is confiscated, gone. I don't have any ID. So my options for a safe home are very limited. My options for a home that doesn't involve human traffickers is probably zilch. But a place that I could at least manage, that certain things are on my terms, that I have certain space and independence and autonomy, those aspects enable me to manage accommodation where the Illuminati are still involved in some way. But my options are limited. They do expand with financial resources. And so if you are able to contribute anything, it's going to help so much, especially at this time for me, because of all the shifting. Like you saw that I was forced out from my Airbnb accommodation, even by MISMA. So all this moving around is costly. It's very draining on my time and my energy. And the travel is costly. Not only that, but I'm at a time in my life where it just so happens that most of my clients are stepping back from sessions with me. And I only had a handful of clients to begin with. So when most of them step back, my income is very, very low right now, at the same time as all of my expenses have just exponentially increased. So if you can contribute anything to support my safety and my security, but also that's going to enable me to continue to expose things and enable me to contribute other things to the world as well. I work as an integrative shaman. I help all kinds of people from all walks of life for whatever difficulties they have. They don't have to even call themselves spiritual or believe certain things or have had certain experiences. I am specialized in helping MK Ultra survivors to holistically deprogram and really heal. And I'm specialized in trauma integration as well. And it is because I am capable and experienced in helping with the darkest and most complex matters that I am able to work with the range of everything lighter than that, so to speak. So my purpose and the work that I want to contribute to everyone is for healing, raising consciousness, improving the planet, improving yourself, improving your life. And you don't have to identify as spiritual or not. And I also want to help the world awaken to this Illuminati control. And just so that you know, there's no monetization in any of my work. So all the hundreds of YouTube videos I've made between my two channels, I don't get money for that. Not from YouTube or from ads or from anything. I don't even qualify for monetization through YouTube. So it is up to you individually to make a choice to contribute. And there's two easy ways that you can do that. And that's by becoming a patron on my Patreon page. That's patreon.com/Rachel Caruso. And that's just an avenue for you to pledge a small monthly amount. You can pledge $5. I've set up a tier, $5. So you go on there, it's real easy to start that monthly pledge for the cost of a cup of coffee. You can support me in my work. You can support me in my safety and security. But also on Patreon, you can choose your own amounts to pledge. It can be even lower or it can be even higher. I think it can be lower, but it can certainly be higher than $5. I have a second tier on my Patreon page for $11, and that includes added perks. Now, the more support I have, the more opportunity I'll have to focus on that outlet to produce more of these perks, more exclusive content for you. my focus right now is on guided meditations or affirmations. There's already a video up. It's called Words of Comfort in Times of Struggle. So my style of affirmations is going to be different from like the robotic, just kind of laundry list of positive thoughts. My affirmations that I'm constructing are much more personal and more effective. They're a lot more emotionally supportive. So you can pledge $5 or $11. $11, you'll get those perks, or you can pledge more if you have the means to, or you can send a one-time donation to PayPal. I'll put my PayPal link in the description box below, along with my Patreon link. Another easy way, I said there were 2 easy ways to support me. Here's a third, and this is absolutely free. Share this content, share it, helping to bring awareness to these issues. So anything that you can do to support my channel is very much appreciated. There's no gesture that is too small. It's all meaningful and it's all personally appreciated by me. So thank you so much. And I will see you in the next video. I can't tell you what exactly is going to be next because there's so much to work on. A lot of threads that I'm following, and I'm also still having to work a lot on finding accommodation for at least the next few weeks. I've just been moving and moving and moving, and it's very draining, exhausting, and time consuming because I'm always having to find the next accommodation. And for as long as I don't have an ID, I will have to continue to move every few weeks. I'll only be able to book through Airbnb. And I've got a plan to get my ID, but it's going to require your support. So I'll further those details in the future. Any support that you can lend my way now is going to help me move towards acquiring my rightful ID so that I can then move on with my life and not be held captive in this way. I'll have access to safer and more secure housing. So thank you for being here. I'll see you soon. Take care.